Okay, let's talk about acne. If you've been fighting a battle with your skin, you've probably tried every cream, wash, and potion out there. But what if the real solution isn't something you put on your skin, but something you put in your body? Today, we're diving deep into the science of fighting acne from the inside out.
I mean, it's a real struggle, right? You try one thing after another and nothing seems to stick. That feeling of frustration is something millions of people know all too well. And honestly, it's that frustration that's pushing science to look for better, smarter ways to get clear skin.
So, before we jump into the really cool new solutions, let's just get a handle on the scale of the problem we're talking about here, because this is way bigger than just a few teenage breakouts.
231.2 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many people are estimated to be dealing with acne around the world. It's one of the most common skin conditions on the entire planet, and it has a real impact on people's lives. So if you're dealing with it, you are definitely not alone. And we've got to bust this myth once and for all. Acne is not just for teenagers. Look at these numbers. For so many women, it's a fight that goes on well into their 20s, 30s, and even 40s. This tells us it's not just a passing phase. It's a chronic, inflammatory condition that really needs a long-term strategy.
So, what have we been using to fight it? Well, you've got your traditional topicals, but they can often leave your skin red and irritated. Then there are systemic antibiotics. And yeah, they can work for a while, but they come with a huge catch: the risk of creating antibiotic-resistant bacteria and messing up your gut health. This is exactly why the search for alternatives, like nutraceuticals, is so incredibly important right now.
And this leads us to a complete shift in thinking, a real game changer in skincare. Instead of just playing defense on the surface, what if we could go on offense and tackle the root causes from within? That's the whole idea behind the inside-out approach.
At the very heart of this is a concept called the gut-skin axis. And no, this isn't some health fad, it's a scientifically proven link. Basically, what's happening in your gut, all the inflammation and imbalances, can show up directly on your face. So healing your skin might actually start with healing your gut. Okay, but it's one thing to have a cool theory, right? How do we actually prove that this inside-out approach works? Well, we need evidence. We need cold, hard data. And the only way to get that is by putting these ideas to the test in serious clinical trials. Now, when it comes to scientific proof, the absolute best you can get, the gold standard, is a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. It sounds complicated, but it's simple. People are chosen randomly. Nobody knows who's getting the real supplement versus a sugar pill, not even the doctors. This whole setup is designed to remove all bias so you can know for sure if something is actually working. And the results from these trials, they are pretty incredible. In one 12-week study, the group taking a specific nutraceutical saw their inflamed, angry pimples drop by more than 51%. Now compare that to the placebo group, who saw less than a 14% improvement. That is a huge difference. We're talking statistically significant, which means it's almost impossible that it happened by chance. And it wasn't just for the red pimples. It worked on non-inflammatory acne too. Blackheads and whiteheads. The supplement group saw a 44% reduction, while the placebo group was down around 11%. The message here is crystal clear. This approach works on multiple fronts. So we've seen that it works. The big question now is how? What's the magic inside these supplements that's making such a difference? Let's get into the science of the ingredients. Okay, let's meet the star of the show, lactoferrin. This is a really powerful natural protein. It's the main ingredient in advanced formulas like Zinc for a good reason. It launches a two-pronged attack. First, it has antibacterial properties that fight acne-causing bacteria. And second, it calms the inflammation that makes pimples so red and sore. And again, we've got the hard numbers to back this up. A 12-week trial focused just on lactoferrin found it reduced those inflammatory spots by almost 40%. But here's the really crucial part. It cut down on sebum, that's the oil on your skin, by over 31%. If you reduce the oil, you're essentially cutting off the food supply for the bacteria. But the smartest formulas, like Zinc, don't just rely on one hero ingredient. They use a whole team of specialists that work together. First up, you have zinc to help regulate the hormones that trigger all that oil production. Then you've got powerful botanicals that help heal the skin and reduce scarring. After that, a shield of antioxidants comes in to protect the skin from damage. And finally, you've got a special ingredient from black pepper that basically unlocks everything, making sure your body can absorb and use all these nutrients effectively. It's a full multi-target approach. Okay, that was a whole lot of science. So let's bring it all back down to earth. What does this actually mean for you in your real life if you're the one looking in the mirror dealing with breakouts? Right. It's really important to know that this isn't an overnight fix, it's a gradual process. In that first month, you'll probably start to notice your skin is less oily, maybe a bit less red. By month 2, that's when you can expect to see a real drop in new breakouts. And by month 3 and beyond, you're really working towards that long-term clarity and helping heal any marks left behind. It takes a little patience, but the results build over time.
So you might be wondering, is this the right approach for me? Well, it's an amazing option for anyone with mild to moderate acne. And it's especially great for adults who are just tired of dealing with persistent hormonal breakouts. It's also a fantastic alternative if you want to avoid oral antibiotics or if your skin is just too sensitive for all those harsh topical creams. You know, even the researchers who ran these studies use the word potent to describe the results. And that really is the key takeaway. We're not just covering up symptoms here. By tackling oil production and inflammation from the inside, we're changing the entire environment of the skin. And we've got the clinical data that proves it works.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As science reveals more about this deep connection between what's happening inside our bodies and what we see on the outside, is the next great breakthrough in skincare going to come from a chemist's lab, or is it going to come from a deeper understanding of our own nutrition and biology? The answer to that could change everything.